First Alert 6 starts with breaking news.
Well, to that breaking news this morning, a busy morning for Omaha fire crews. Authorities tell us a bus caught fire in the Metro Transit facility early this morning. It happened near 24th and Nicholas just before 2 a.m. We're taking a look at the scene. The good news is no injuries were reported as we know of, and right now, no word on the cause of the fire. Stay with First Alert 6 on air and online as we work to find out more information about what happened. Well, good morning, everybody, and thank you so much for joining us here on First Alert 6 streaming on this Tuesday morning. I'm Cerise Cole with meteorologist Jared Lansford, and we're talking about, surprise, surprise, it's cold again, but we've got some good news. It's not as cold as it was yesterday.
Yeah, whereas yesterday was just brutal.
Yeah, we're below zero.
It's not brutal. It's just cold. So let's look at where we're at as we start off our day. How about that picture? Nice sunrise that looks beautiful. You're heading out the door. Make sure you don't forget the sunglasses. And of course, you're still going to need the hat, the gloves, and all of that kind of stuff because we're at 16 degrees. We do have a breeze. It feels like it's 3 degrees out. So it's not warm. It's just better as we're starting off our day. And as we go through the day, we'll see that temperature go up about 10 degrees. So not quite the leap that we had yesterday from those low temperatures that we started. But we actually end up in about the same spot for those peak temperatures. About 26 degrees. We'll have sunshine for most of the day. We'll bring in a few clouds late in the day. But overall, a solid forecast for the afternoon. But what is that wind doing is going to be the key. And the good news is it's at its strongest this morning. We could still get some gusts that are up around 20. This may be a little strong for our peak gusts, but some 20-mile-per-hour gusts are possible, and then we'll back those winds off as we get into the afternoon. So as we get to the PM hours, we get that sunshine, we've got the 20s. We'll have less wind in place, and that will set us up for at least a better feel to the air as we're going through the afternoon. There's the wind chills. You can see those are kind of hovering in the upper teens as we go through the PM hours. So improvement, and even more improvement tomorrow. Now, the temperature won't be warmer. We'll actually start off single digits tomorrow, but have a quick recovery and make our way up to the mid-30s for our high. We'll have lighter winds in place. Lots to like about tomorrow. We're trending toward getting a little more sunshine in our sky tomorrow as well. Here's the winds. Look at that. That looks pretty nice. So getting a nice break from that as our day goes on. Those are gusts, by the way, that we're looking at. So our best day to get out and get things done is tomorrow, because after that, we start bringing in some snow chances into the forecast for Thursday as our next system comes in. That'll also affect our temperatures. But let's start with the snow. And you can see that the bulk of that's off to the west of the metro as we start off our day. And I do think this model is likely overdoing a little bit just how much that we have around. But I really like where it's putting the snow showers that are mostly off to the west of the metro. We may sneak a couple to the metro as we get toward mid-morning and around the midday hours. But at most, I think we're talking maybe a coating in the metro, and you'll see that from the amounts that I show you. This should wrap up as we get toward the middle of the day. And we're talking maybe around an inch or so as you get further to the west, especially as you get west of Lincoln is where those amounts should start to go up. So another one of these quick moving systems that brings a quick light snow to the area and then makes its way out. May get a few slick spots for the middle of the day on Thursday. But that is also where we start to see the temps go down a little bit. Notice the high there in the 20s after getting into the 30s. So that'll be a little bit of a disappointment after that really nice warm up that we get for Wednesday.
Okay, so you get us through Thursday. Lately, the weekends have been kind of rough. So what's in store for us this weekend?
Well, there's some good and some bad news. People usually want to start with the bad news.
Okay.
Let's rip the Band-Aid off.
The way. Sure.
Let's rip the Band-Aid off. It's going to be frigid on Friday. We're talking 14 degrees for a high. That's trending colder too. And by the time we get to Saturday morning, 2 below is our air temperature. Now, the good news is it's not going to be as windy as some of these cool downs that we've had lately, so we should keep the wind chills at least in the ballpark of the actual air temperature, but still, it's going to be a really cold start to the weekend. Gradually warming as the weekend goes on. 20s for a high on Saturday. That may actually end up being the best day of the weekend by the time we get to the afternoon and get that warm up from those below zero temps to start the day. It does get warmer for Sunday, but we also add in more of a breeze and the chance for some more snow showers. We're going to talk a little bit more about how much snow we end up seeing from that one and how things evolve on Sunday overall in just a little bit. But let me show you the 10-day forecast. And you can see that we get those 30s, maybe not the most pleasant day on Sunday, but beyond that, we're actually getting some 40s on the forecast, and we're holding on to that into the middle of next week. That may be something that sticks for us as we head through that first week of February. So a lot of people have been looking forward to getting some warm up.
Yeah.
There it is.
I saw 48 on there even.
Yeah.
Well, I hope that stays.
Yeah. There's even potential we end up warming. I'm holding back a little bit until we can see what that Sunday snow ends up doing.
Oh, he may be holding back. All right. Let's talk traffic because we've already had a few accidents this morning.
Not the way we want to start off our day, where we've had a few of these over the last couple of hours. Most of them have cleared.
Okay.
We've got one that's still in place. So let's look at that one. And we're going to be traveling down to Sarpy County for this one. It's at 96th and Portal. And you'll see as you're heading southbound some delays that are showing up as you're approaching that intersection. So use some caution. Could be some emergency crews that are on hand for that one. That's our last remaining crash at this point. Hopefully we don't add any new ones as we continue to pick up the traffic load. We've had some delays showing up at a couple of our busier intersections, 90th and Dodge, 90th and Maple, as things do increase with the traffic amount on the road. Those are some spots to watch for delays. And speaking of Dodge, this is something else to keep in mind. We have water main break repairs that are happening 52nd in Dodge, and this is scheduled to last through the end of the week. That will result in some varying lane restrictions. The way it looks right now, that would be affecting northbound travel on 52nd, but be aware that that could change and you could run into some lane restrictions as that process to fix those that water main continues. So be ready for possible delays there at that intersection. We zoom things out. We had some delays that were approaching I-80 on JFK a little bit ago. Those look to have improved at this point. Most of the metro moving along in pretty good shape. And that includes Dodge at this point as you're going through West Omaha. We'll see how that continues through the morning. Okay. But aside from that one crash at 96 and Portal, we're in pretty good shape right now.
All right, like the sound of that, Jarrett. Thank you. To your news now. 4 people walked into the Douglas County Courthouse to face criminal charges yesterday, but they never made it to their hearings. Federal immigration agents arrested them first. Defense attorney Robert Larson says 3 were facing DUI charges. 1 was charged with hit and run. Their client is now being taken to the federal detention center in McCook. ICE agents also detained people at the same courthouse last week.
Police presence started to come in and talk about need to evacuate the building. A lot of people are confused.
Well, that was the sentiment of passengers at Epley Airfield after a reported security threat led to evacuations for anyone not through security. The tense moment started yesterday morning. People in the terminal were evacuated onto buses. About an hour later and after a sweep of the airport, normal operations resumed. Travelers who were there at the time say police and security's quick response made all the difference.
They did a great job. Yeah, very courteous. Everybody walked out very calmly, and they helped us load our luggage on the bus, and yeah, it was very smooth.
I think with the bomb threat in Miami yesterday, I think in the back of people's heads that could have been something as well, and just what's going on in our country right now. I've traveled all over the country for many, many years. There's nowhere I'd want to fly out of than Omaha.
Omaha Airport Authority has not confirmed the specific security threat. Once passengers were able to come back, security lines were backed up for a bit. Medical experts at the Lincoln Regional Center have now determined a doctor arrested for 2 different cases involving minors is competent to stand trial. Dr. Travis Tierney is accused of sneaking into a West Omaha home to have sex with a boy. Last summer, Tierney was wanted for allegedly swapping nude photos with a 16-year-old boy in Sarpy County. He was out on bond and not supposed to leave the county when investigators realized he was in Arizona. Tierney is now back at the Sarpy County Jail on a $5 million bond. All right, at the safety desk with our Maria Kate. And Maria, frigid temperatures can affect our body in a number of ways.
Yeah, one thing that we might not think about is actually our hearts. It can be really affected in the cold weather because our bodies are working to maintain that core temperature, and that can actually strain your heart if it's overworked. So as the blood vessels constrict, blood pressure and heart rate can both rise, and this can be really, really dangerous to people who have some of those underlying heart conditions already. And to protect your heart, experts say you don't want to underestimate the weather. So when you go outside, always remember, we say it a lot, dress in those layers, wear any sweat wicking clothing to keep yourself warm. Also cover the areas that lose heat pretty fast. Cover your ears, cover your head with those hats, earmuffs. Make sure you put on thick wool socks and gloves as well.
put in some breaks if you're shoveling. Ask for some help. If there's a better time of day to do some of that shoveling, like under the heat of the sun, I would certainly advocate for that.
You should also try and be aware of any red flag symptoms when it comes to your heart. Things like chest pain or discomfort, jaw pain and tightness, just general unease with your body as well. Because if something feels off, you want to get inside and call 911 as soon as possible to make sure you get taken care of.
For sure. We often hear about people have heart attacks after shoveling that
Yes.
snow or during shoveling, so you gotta.
It's a strenuous activity, so like the doctor said, make sure you take breaks and pause when you need
Be
to.
extra cautious.
Yep.
Maria, thank you. Thank you. We'll be right back after this short break. All right, sure hope your morning's getting off to a great start. Take a look at your screen there. A beautiful look at the sunrise this morning. I know you're wondering, we've had some rough mornings. You're wondering, okay, what's this morning going to be like? We're here with Jared, oh my gosh, Lansford, who is going to give us an idea of what we can expect this morning. More cold, Jared.
Yeah, it's cold. It's a little better than yesterday.
We'll take that.
Yeah, so it won't be the first step and you're just regretting your life choice to step out the door. But it's still going to be bundle up and be ready for the winter weather as you're getting things up and running. 16 degrees where we're at. We've got a northwest breeze. It's knocking the wind chills down to the single digits once again. So bundle up. We'll get better by the afternoon as we'll have that sunshine staying in place. We'll try to bring in a few clouds late, especially if you're west of the metro. But overall, not bad. Back into the 20s. That's where we ended up yesterday. But this time with less wind by the afternoon. So that will feel better as we get to those PM hours. So improvement. And even more improvement for tomorrow. We're talking about 30s that are on the way there with light winds. So that's the best day of the week. You need to maybe get a layer off of the car, wash that tomorrow, get some gas, because Thursday, here we go again. We start getting closer to the weekend. We start seeing things turn back toward winter weather. We've got some snow that'll be west of the metro, especially for Thursday morning. We may get that right around the metro as we get toward the late morning and into the middle of the day. That could put a coating on the road. So first alert to that for the lunch hour on Thursday. The better chances do stick off to the west, and probably not even as much as what's showing up here, but we could be talking about around an inch if you're near Lincoln and west. Closer to the metro, a quick coating that is possible out of this. Not even a slam dunk that we get that coating, but first alert to that potential for that. After that, it gets cold. 20s for highs Thursday, but teens by the time we get to our Friday. Saturday, we start to improve after a start that will be below zero with our temperatures. We'll end up into the 20s for the afternoon, get some sunshine in place. Sunday sees our warmest temperatures, but we also get that countered by some gusty winds, and we'll be looking at a few snow showers once again possible. Let's look a little closer at how this all takes place. This is with that next blast of Arctic air that makes its way in. You can see how that kind of scrapes us on Friday. That gets deep into the south once again. We could be talking about some cold that once again they're not usually seeing in those areas, and maybe a winter system that impacts the East Coast heavily out of that one. For us, you can see that we start getting some warmer temperatures. That's behind that Sunday system. So the first thing that we have to talk about is that quick burst of snow that comes for Saturday night into Sunday. Once again, could be just a coating that we end up with some brief impacts on the roads, kind of like what we saw last Saturday morning. That's the sort of thing we'd be looking at, but with less wind involved as we see that falling. We could pick that up again as we get into the afternoon. Eventually, that will see some improvement take place. Those next 5 days, though, still fully in winter mode as our warmest day is tomorrow with the 30s on the way.
All right, so 34, the warmest. Is there a chance of even more warmer temperatures anytime soon?
Yes, definitely. Actually, behind that system on Sunday, every temperature is above 34. So check that out. A lot of 40s that are looking like they show up. And Groundhog Day on Monday. And coincidentally, warmer temperatures than we'd be seeing for a little while. That's not saying that we're fully going into spring mode, but I can say that it does trend for the first week of February to look like we're above average with our temps. That would mean a lot of upper 30s and some 40s. We'll see if that's something that can stick as we get further into February. February does continue to look like a month where we have to just keep an eye on things. Patterns kind of fluctuate a little bit, and we may eventually bring some more snow chances back into the fold, but at least for the start of the month, looking pretty good.
We'll take that. All right, Jared, thank you. Well, happening today, President Trump set to speak in Clive, Iowa. It's a suburb of Des Moines, about 2 hours from Omaha. The White House chief of staff says the president plans to talk about energy and the economy. The president also aims to boost Republican candidates in the state. Senator Joni Ernst's seat, as well as all of Iowa's 4 House seats, are up for grabs in November. Coming up, travel chaos from coast to coast with winter weather, but some travelers aren't complaining. Find out why when we return. Well, new this morning, the severe weather threat that struck roughly half of the U.S. over the past few days has caused some travel headaches nationwide.
Yeah, but some people aren't complaining about where they got stuck. I can think of a couple of places where I'd be fine getting stuck in. So for this couple, what better place than Las Vegas, of course, Sin City. It's going to take some time before officials will figure out how much of an impact the storm had on Las Vegas's tourism. But of course, it remains a popular place for travelers. It was actually the top destination this past Christmas.
I never thought of Christmas in Vegas. Maybe not a bad idea.
No, good weather, hopefully.
And if you're going to get stuck somewhere,
you got
lots to do inside.
Elvis impersonators. They can sing you Blue Christmas.
And more.
Yes.
And so much more.
I would love to go be stuck like maybe somewhere in the Caribbean.
That's what I was thinking. I was like, ooh,
Mexico.
Dominican Republic.
Yeah, that sounds good to me. Well, turn into your Big Red Extra coverage now. Nebraska basketball continues to do things it's never done before.
So not only are the Huskers a perfect 20-0, they have now moved into the top 5 of the AP poll. Their latest move makes tonight's road game at Michigan a top 5 matchup. Everybody's going to be watching. The Wolverines currently sitting at number 3. Tip-off between the Huskers and the Wolverines is set for 6 o'clock tonight. You can catch that game on Peacock. I will be watching. I know they're the underdogs, and they're not expected to win. But I believe in this team.
Too.
I mean, they've got so much grit, and it seems like no matter how far they get behind, they believe they can. They're like that little engine that could.
And I think the adrenaline is going to carry them through tonight. Obviously, they know they have a really big task under them.
Yeah, it is tough.
Yeah, I mean, this is probably going to be one of the biggest matchups, if not the biggest, in the Big Ten for this season. So it's going to be really exciting to see what turns out.
I'm excited.
You talk about a litmus test before you get to March Madness. There you
This
go.
is it.
Yeah,
this is it.
There you go. Where are you at?
Where you at? I wish they
Big Red.
I wish they were playing it at home.
I know.
But other than that, they could do it. We're with them. All right. Thanks for joining us. We're going to get ready for our update in the Today Show. Of course, you can watch it here on streaming or over our air. Sorry, Maria. Thanks again for watching. Have a great day, everybody. Kicking you.
Yeah.
Live from WOWT, First Alert 6 starts now.
Good Tuesday morning to you. It is 7:26. I'm Cerise Cole. Let's get right to First Alert 6 weather and traffic with Jared.
And we're seeing some delays that are starting to crop up once again on eastbound Dodge. This is not unusual for this point in the morning, but you can see right around the 168th, back toward 156, you're getting things really starting to slow down. So be ready for that as you're heading into those areas. Those delays even building back past 180th. So one of the slower mornings we've had for a little bit as you're heading through that stretch. Elsewhere, we've been watching this crash 96 in Portal. Still some slowing that's taking place, but looks like we're starting to improve around this area. So hopefully that means that we're going to be looking at that going away pretty quickly. as you're heading out the door, don't forget the sunglasses, but you also need the hat, the gloves, all the winter gear. It looks pretty nice out there with that sunrise, but 16 degrees is all we have. We have a northwest wind, about 12 miles per hour, and the wind chill is in the single digits. So not the warmest start, just a little bit better than what we had yesterday, and that's partially because of the northwest wind that we have in place. We're getting some occasional gusts that are approaching 20 miles per hour. That's helping to knock that wind chill down. Those winds will improve as we get to the afternoon, and as such, it'll start to feel a little better for the afternoon too. We'll end up about 26, which is about where we had our high yesterday, but keep in mind that comes with lots of wind, so a better feel to the air for the afternoon. A lot of sunshine today, just a few late day clouds. Tomorrow is the best day to get things done outdoors. We'll be in the 30s.
All right, Jared, thank you. To breaking news this morning, authorities tell First Alert 6 a bus caught fire in the Metro Transit facility early this morning. It happened near 24th and Nicholas just before 2 o'clock. The good news is no injuries have been reported. No word yet on the cause of the fire. It is 7:28 and we are back with another update for you in about 25 minutes. We'll see you then. Have a great day, everybody.